Welcome back. Uh, so this video is continuation of the previous one. In this, we are going to find Fibonacci series, n Fibonacci series. The previous one, we have seen an algorithm which is going to print, which is going to give nth Fibonacci number or Fibonacci number. But in this video, we are going to print n Fibonacci numbers. If I give n is equal to 3, so which is going to print 0, 1 and 1, 3 numbers. If I give n is equal to 5, it has to print 0, 1, 1, 2 and 3 because which has to print first 5 Fibonacci numbers. Okay, so let us see how we can do it. So always it starts with your main function. So look at the main function which takes two where I declare two variables. One is I, other one is n. So I'm going to read the n value. So if I take n is equal to 6, it has to print 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. It has to print 6 numbers. But if you take the previous case, but take if I give n is equal to 6 out, it has to print only that particular number. So there's a difference. Okay. So the Fibonacci numbers are obviously when I need to print more than one number, I have to take a loop. So I've taken a for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. From 0 to less than n. So give it as 6. If I got n as 6 from the keyboard, I'll be starting from 0 to 5. Look at the printf statement. Inside the printf statement, I'm going to call the function Fibonacci series I, right? So what this is going to do? This is going to print the particular number, which is going to, if I take I is equal to 0, which is going to print the 0th Fibonacci number. How this is done? This is done using our previous function definition. So function definition you have seen, if n is equal to 0, what is the case? If n is equal to 1, what is the case? If otherwise, what is the case? We have written three cases. But the first two cases are known as the base cases. I repeat, every recursive function have two cases. One is the base case, other one is general case, right? So this is going to give, or this is going to print n's Fibonacci numbers. So let us see another example. So again, this is very interesting and very simple. What you're going to do is you're going to find GCD of two numbers. Everyone knows what is GCD, which is going to give you the greatest common divisor. So which is going to give GCD of two numbers. Everyone knows what is GCD. But the thing is, you have to do this in a recursive manner, right? So what it says is if you take 3 and 4, 3 is the first number and 4 is the second number. If I take 3 and 4, what is GCD? Everyone knows for 3 and 4, the greatest common divisor is going to be 1. If I take it as 2 and 4, for 2 and 4, the GCD is going to be 2. If I take 2 and 5, for 2 and 5, again GCD is going to be 1. That is going to be the greatest common divisor, right? Excuse me. So let us see how we can do this. So this is a small procedure is written. So if m modulus n is equal to 0, you should remember what is modulus operator. Modulus operator is something but the remainder operator, which is going to give you the remainder. Something like if I take 3 modulus 4, 3 modulus 4 is going to give you 3. 4 modulus 3 is going to give you 1. That is going to be the remainder. So please be very careful with this. Let me repeat. 3 modulus 4 is 4 will give you 3. 4 modulus 3 will give you 1. Am I clear? Yeah. So let us see the procedure for that. Look at the function called GCD, which takes two numbers m comma n. So you can give any number for this. And look at the first case. If m modulus n is equal to 0, think that 4 modulus 2 is going to be 0. 4 modulus 2, there is no remainder. If m modulus n is equal to 0, then what we are going to say is n is going to be your GCD. If 4 modulus 2 is equal to 0, everyone knows 4 modulus 2 is 0, there is no remainder. So 4 is your m and 2 is your n. 4 modulus 2 is equal to 0. If m modulus n is equal to 0, your n is going to be GCD. What is your n in this case? Your n is 2. So 2 is the GCD. So this is going to be your base case. And what should be the general case? General case is little different. What we do is we just exchange numbers, or I can say that now I'll call the GCD function with different value. So your first number is going to be n in this case, and your second number is going to be m modulus n. M modulus n. So if you take 3 and 4, what is 3 and 4? 3 modulus 4 is going to be 3, right? So the first condition fails. The first condition fails. I'll go to the second case. So n comma m modulus n. What is my n in this case? N is going to be 4. M modulus n is going to be 3 modulus 4 is going to be 3. So this time I call this function with different parameters. I should repeat this. Finally, I'll be getting GCD of these two numbers. Right? Yeah. If you're doubt, let us see the GCD for this. So you can right hand side you can find the complete function. So we are reading. We have taken three variables m comma n comma res. We are going to read what is the m value and n value, and we have taken res is a variable which is going to have the return value what GCD function is going to return, and m is going to be, if you look at the input which we give, m is going to be 10 and n is going to be 6. Okay, so this is what your function called. It will go to the particular function. M is 10 and n is 6. Next is the case if n is equal to 0, return. What is my n? N is not equal to 0, n is 6 in this case. If that's the case, return GCD n comma m modulus n. What is my n? N is 6. M modulus n. What was my m? 10. 10 modulus 6 is going to be 4. Look at that. 10 modulus 6 is going to be 4. The remainder. Now what is my n? N is 6. What is my m modulus n, which is going to be 4? I call this function again. What happened? You go to the same function where n is not equal to 0. If that's the case, what have to do? Again have n comma m modulus n. What is my n in this case? My n is going to be 4. Please remember that my n is going to be 4. What is my m modulus n? My m modulus n is going to be a different number. If I take 10 and 6, initially my m was 10 and my n was 6. So when I find the modulus, I got it as 4. So I got it as 6 and 4. So when I did 6 and 4, I got it as 2. So what happens? Now my n is going to be 4 and my m modulus n is going to be 2. N is not equal to 0. Do it again. What I'll do it? I'll be getting 4 and 2. 4 modulus 2 is going to be 0. 4 modulus is going to be 0. So if n is equal to 0, return m value. What is my m value? M value is going to be 2. So this 2 I should return to the main function. So finally I got the GCD as 2. I'm done with this. So you should take paper, pen, and you should try this. Right?